have been just checking it to make sure.
Warren's got
back on board again.
Yeah.
We seen him just a few minutes ago getting out. We weren't sure why, bits and pieces, but there he is. That is Warren's helmet. He's back in the car, and there he goes round out to the 60-kilometre limit and accelerating out now through the curves of the pit lane exit, which again accelerates hard as it wants through this part of it and out onto the circuit, so that will get him back up and going. But now he's a long way behind. Yeah, that's 289, 262. Yeah. 20-odd laps behind, 27 laps behind.
That happened to him. It may happen to Barazzi, you know, but to Michael Burgess is on board at the moment. Interesting, though, David, they came back after all that work, did the check, and all they really did was just made sure the rear wheel was still on tight, didn't they?
Well, it does help if the rear wheel stays on tight. Yeah. Because if it's still wobbling about, then it's a major problem. Push it back in and start again. And I'm pretty sure the guys have done a proper job the first time round. Although it did take them a little bit of time. Obviously, it was a very big job to do. Whatever it was actually wrong with it. Maybe if somebody in the pits can have a word and see what the actual problem was and what they had to do to it to be able to put it back together and get it back onto the circuit, would be quite interested.
Liz, when you've had a problem with the car and you've been in the pits for a while, you go back out again. Is there some nervousness, or do you trust your team implicitly?
Oh no, I've never worried that the team hasn't done it right. I think the only thing is that your headspace has kind of changed a bit, because before you were really pushing, you know, where you were, and then suddenly there's a problem and you've sat for a minute and then you go back out again. So you've got to sort of get your brain back into, you know, the mode you were in when you were on the track going around without the problem, if that makes sense. So you know, definitely I personally have never, you know, not trusted my team. I've always been confident they've done a good job, and I've always believed that they wouldn't have sent me back out if they weren't, you know, confident that the car was in one piece.
I mean, particularly thinking of last year when you won Sebring, won P2 in Sebring, and you had a couple of car problems on the way, didn't you? It wasn't an entirely trouble-free run.
Yeah, no, it wasn't. I mean, we had a few sort of little problems, nothing enormous, but definitely right at the end of the race, because I finished that race, the car was not at its happiest. I think we had an injection problem, I think, if I remember. Just a few little niggly things, and we sort of nursed it home at the end. And you know, but Sebring is hard on drivers and hard on cars, as we all know. So there's not many cars, bar maybe the Audi, that has no problems at Sebring. But you know, all things considered, I think it went very smoothly.
David, are we looking at possibly our first retirement? Or
I think that's not going anywhere else now. Number 97 GPC Sport of De Simone and Luca Drew.
No!
The Rostan car. That will be our first safety car.
Yeah, that is well stuffed, isn't it?
Big
as well.
Looks like
I would think something's broken. Now, we were talking earlier on about safety and what to do for crash helmets and hands device and clothing and everything else. Is that the driver there bouncing around inside? He's about to jump himself out of there.
It's not the safest place he is either, is it?
It's a safety car coming down with the lights on.
It's in the centre spot of the hill. And
we're not sure why. If you can see a replay maybe of exactly how he lost it coming down there.
It's car owner Pierre Bruno, and Mike Pilbeam will not be at all happy about this. That is a well-stuffed little Pilbeam, isn't it?
It is.
It's had a tough race, that car. It struggled sort of from start all the way through till now.
Right at the very beginning, it didn't make the start, did it? It was in the pitch, then it came in very shortly afterwards.
But actually that was just because he hadn't flipped the fuel pumps on, wasn't it?
Yes.
That's right, so we can't really blame the Pilbeam for that.
Good to see that Pierre's walking about and still thinking straight. Very, very charming gentleman, French gentleman, and I think he's such a keen supporter.
Trying to leave it out of gear, which is what the rule book says, but I believe
then it might roll backwards.
Three wheels on my car, I don't think that'll make a lot of difference, to be perfectly honest.
It's not going to roll much anyway, is it, to be honest?
It's going nowhere. It's beached there.
Need a bit of a lift.
And so the safety car there, we have the notice saying the safety car is out. Our first interruption of this race since it started some 7.5 hours ago. Yeah. And there's the team. Pierre Bruno's team.
No, I don't see Mike Pilbeam there, so maybe
I didn't see him either, actually.
No, so
Michael Verges is coming in. Maybe he's decided that he'll hand over now to somebody to do the last hour and a half. There's no point in picking those bits up. Leave it to somebody else. That's what other people are there for. The marshals are there for.
This is a small budget team. He needs all those bits.
I've seen that done before. The team go back and pick up all the bits.
Yeah. And maybe he's going to sign it and sell it on eBay. Some people do that too.
So how many people pick bits up at racing circuits? People are
obviously now going to take the chance to pit stop under yellow, which is the logical thing to do. And I do feel for Pierre, as we say, such a gentleman. And
now he's gone from one track to the other track, because now he's no longer on the racetrack, but where he's walking up is actually the pit exit. and so cars will still be coming down that side where he is, but he's gone in there very hard to do that amount of damage. These are really strong cars, okay, little cars, LMP2 cars, but believe me, they take a big hit before they do that sort of amount of damage, before they end up looking that bent.
Yeah, and that's into a tyre wall. It's got conveyor belting in front of it. They still hit it. Here he goes.
Back out. Michael Burgess still on board.
Yeah.
He's refueled it. He's gone back out. Of course, we reckon he's got an hour and 35 minutes. So if he's got 55 minutes worth of fuel, he can go out and do that last 55 minutes.
You would have thought they'd want to leave him in for at least as much of the dark as they could, though, being the most experienced driver on board, really.
Well, on that basis, I'd have put somebody else in now when you're doing a stop, probably done a stop in a safety car without a tyre change. I would think about doing that.
I suppose they do have quite a big lead, though, don't they, really?
They have. I've been in and out, tyres, fuel stop, no tyres, get going again during the safety car period, really save some time in that period, sit behind the safety car for a long time, and then come in with 45 minutes to go before the end of the race, hand it over to whoever the last driver is, and they can have new tyres and they can run right to the very end. So they've only got one more stop left after this.
So quick Nick, Poleman getting on board the number 8 car.
And there's his seat because he's so much shorter. The seat packer goes in, Nick in he goes, it slides in, gets himself positioned as he finds the seat belts to put them on. Somebody will be in the passenger side to help him with the seat belts. The refueler working away with the fueling. There, it's finished. Big heavy pipe there, you can see, for the diesel. And the minute that was finished, on goes the tyres, back and then front on one side, front and then back on the other side. And very well drilled, these mechanics. They know exactly what they're doing. There's no big rush, no panic. It's just done to perfection. That was Rostand taking his kit off.
Yeah.
It's all
in the pit saying he's not going back out again, so there's no point in having this on.
Sad for Mark as well. He's a co-owner of the team, former French GT champion, and
it's a real pity to go this far during a race and then not finish. Especially even more so having done so much damage. There he goes. Not at all. Somebody will be towing it to a place of safety, whatever that place of safety might be. We'll have it across the circuit then.
Is it possible the front wheel? Is it possible maybe a front wheel broke before the accident? Might have taken him off? Because
it could be anything. Could be any number of things. They're not exactly being kind to that car, are they?
Well,
they are really dragging that about.
They're about to thump it into the wall as well.
Barrier at the other side as well. It's out of gear. Wheels are turning. So managed to get out of gear, but here's his second Peugeot waiting to come in. Driver waiting to come in to be able to get into that one.
So Stefan Saran still on board.
Certainly
Pedro will take it over. Pedro, as we said, who finished second here last year, driving a DTM Mercedes with Tony Buchan, Raul Bazell and Giuliano Losacco.
And as we come round now, we'll see that first Peugeot pull off, I'm pretty sure, into the pit lane. There he goes. Now then, that will give the safety car a little bit of a worry, because he's supposed to pick up the leader, which he had, but now the leader's gone to the pits. So who is the leader? The guy in the pits is still the leader, because he's got some 6 laps lead. So you certainly wouldn't want to be waving anybody past that safety car. Just leave everybody exactly where they are behind. And once the circuit is clear, which might be the next time round, in actual fact, the safety car will come in and everybody will start racing again. But certainly the big teams taken that option to come in and do the pit stops during the safety car period. And again, one driver out.
This is, of course, the penultimate pit stop of the season for this car.
This is the number 8 car lying in second place.
This is the 8, is it?
Yes, number 8 car is lying in second place.
Yeah.
And that was Manassian out and Marc Genet getting in, if I remember right.
Well, in this one. No, this is Sarrazin to Lamy.
This is Sarrazin to Lamy.
Yeah.
So still under safety car for just joining us.
So Sarrazin out and Pedro Lamy